Hey guys, King Shaka here, back again with another video. This time we're going to be doing a review on Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy. We're going to be reviewing the first game that was remastered, so let's go ahead and dive right in. Now I'm going to break this review into three parts, as I think each Crash game deserves its own review. We'll also be doing a comparison of the old games versus the new remastered game. So, Vicarious Visions and Activision bring us an old classic from the PS1 era, completely remastered, remade from scratch. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Crash. In fact, Crash in its heyday was one of the most iconic games found on the PS1 from the 90s. In fact, the first Crash game sold over 23 million copies, which for the 90s, that's a pretty good haul, especially since money was worth a lot more then, and the game probably wasn't $70 like it is now with a bunch of DLC. But besides the point, let's go ahead and dive right into the story. What the hell does this game have for? The story for you newcomers starts off with a mad scientist called Dr. Neocortex. He decided to mutate a bunch of creatures on the Wumpa Islands due to his short accomplishments, and to raise an army to conquer the world.
Furry creatures? That man's a genius.
Until that is his Evolvo Ray mutated Bandicoot, who decided, fuck you, I don't want to do what you want to do, so I'm going to jump out of this building and float all the way to the first Wumpa Island. But knowing to Crash is that his girlfriend named Tana has been kidnapped. Yes, a classic, the princess has been kidnapped, so you must go rescue her from the tallest building, from the deepest tower somewhere far, far away. And that's essentially what Crash does. He goes through all three islands, climbs up the slippery slope to kick Cortex's ass for stealing his girlfriend. Well, not really stealing, he pretty much just left her ass. But that's besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. We have to travel through 30 plus stages, reach from point A to point B, run through boulders, jump over creeks, go through bridges, and jump on overweight island owners, just so we can save our girlfriend, who then just leaves us in the second game and never exists. But that's besides the point, ladies and gentlemen. It's a classic platforming save the princess game, very similar to Mario, but with bandicoots. But how does the gameplay hold up? The game works and feels the best while using the directional pads. And I know that might sound crazy and absurd to a lot of you new school people, but directional pads is what I feel most comfortable with, just because this game was designed to be used with the directional pads. The PS1, when it first came out, did not have dual analog sticks. So if it didn't have dual analog sticks, that means you have to use a directional pad to navigate throughout the entire level. And in fact, this game is designed to use the directional pads. There are segments within the game where you're running from left to right on a 2D plane. There's no reason to be using the analog stick on a 2D plane. So, and of course, if you're on the PS4, you have your classic X is to jump, square is to spin, circle is to do nothing, and triangle is to bring down your status menu, which shows any bonus tokens you have, Wumpa Fruit, your lives total, and now, new to the remastered version, the total amount of boxes you have and what you have left to get. Originally, it only told you how many boxes you actually had, so you never knew if you were missing a box unless you played the game endlessly and knew what you were going through. But in comparison from the new game to the old game, the new game feels a lot more smoother. I would hope so, since it was remade from the ground up. Crash doesn't feel as stiff when he's jumping. However, I do feel like the original game had a better hit detection. In this game, I find myself sometimes jumping on the edge of something, and suddenly the game thinks, "Up, nope, sorry, you did not make that jump," even though it looks like you made it. But you know what? You didn't make it, so you end up hitting the edge a lot. You could be doing something the exact same way, and the game determines that the hit detection just wasn't there. So just like an original, you jump and spin. There's nothing really special in comparison to the second and third game. In the second and third game, you get a lot of power-ups, but on the first game, mechanics are still the same. You run, you jump, you get from point A to point B. Unlike in the original, you can die in this game. I make it a point that if you're going for a clear gem, don't get too frustrated, because now Sunset Vista and game and levels like that have become a lot more easier. In the original game, if you died, you had to restart the entire level over, because for some reason the game thinks, well, you died, but let's just say you're at the beginning, so all the boxes you broke up to that checkpoint have now reappeared. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, all of your boxes reappear in the original game. In the remaster version, they, thank goodnessly, have fixed that. Another thing that is important that you can die in is bonus stages. In the original game, bonus stages were used as save points. Also in the original game, there were passwords, and now we don't really need passwords in a remastered version, so let's go ahead and chunk those out, as well as the save states, because now in this game you can save pretty much anywhere except within the level. I'm assuming all loading screens with that little box icon that we see are our autosave feature, but you can also save on the world map. For some reason though, in the original, there was some issues with the TNT boxes. Thankfully they fixed this. If you hit a TNT box and you went too far away, it did not count that box exploding, so you actually had to wait and make sure the box exploded. So if you're doing a speed run, your time is a little bit slower because you actually do have to wait for that box to explode, otherwise it will not count, and when you get to the end, well, then you have to redo that entire level, so now your entire speed run is just fudged. Now, one mechanic that they did keep within the remaster version are the color gems, and boy oh boy, the color gems are just as a pain to get as they were in the original, because you cannot die. You cannot die, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. If you die on a colored gem level, you have to exit out onto the world map and re-enter in order to actually get the colored gem. And of course, you gotta break all the boxes. So if you die, and especially on a level like Slippery Slope, you have to redo the entire freaking level. And believe me, ladies and gentlemen, that is a tilter. That is a head scratching, hair pull out. It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's not too bad, as you know, the levels are better, not better designed, but the controls are better designed, so it won't feel as bad. The bosses in this game just as easy as the original. Bosses are easily exploited because back in the era of PS1, bosses had a certain pattern, and if you master that pattern, you will obviously achieve greatness. So the first boss that you will face on the first island is Papu Papu. Now, unlike in the first game, Papu Papu actually had invisibility frames. He would actually flash after the first time you jump on top of his head, so you cannot repeat jump to, you know, take him out easier. So in the remastered version, a lot easier. You can constantly re-jump on his head. So let's go ahead and move on to the next box, which is Ripper Roo. So Ripper Roo is still the same jumpy, crazy kangaroo looking mofo that we've loved in the original game. He will still have the same jumping pattern. Each time he gets hit in the face with a big old TNT, when it explodes in his face, he changes his pattern. You just have to adjust yourself, and pretty easy knockout. Koala Kong, same thing, easy knockout, even though he looks a lot more furrier. I think everything looks furrier in this game for some reason. Koala Kong, big muscular koala, probably on steroids, but we're not going to fact check that. And he just throws coal at you, these coal boulders. The ones that he just instantly throw at you, just go ahead and spin at them. They're not going to do any damage unless you just stand there. Obviously, they will kill you. But just spin at him, and then when he tries to pick up a boulder that he seems to be struggling with, you have to dodge that one and then spin it back at him. Now, there will be carts that will be coming by, so you got to make sure that you actually hit him in the face with him. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. Your third boss is Pinstripe Potoro. I don't know what the hell he is exactly. He's a rat? Kangaroo? I don't know what he is. but he's also pretty easy. You just pretty much stand behind your bulletproof couches. I don't know how that works. And then when he changes into a different part of a stage to reload his Tommy gun, that's when you spin and hit him. Now, in the original, you was actually able to exploit this and get 2 hits off, but in the remaster, they kind of fixed this up, so you can no longer just constantly spin him to at least get 2 extra hits on him. So once he gets to his final part of his life, usually the last 2 hits, he will stay to the right side of a room and jump on top of the table and jump down to the table. In that point, his Tommy gun will start to cease to function for some reason or another, and then that's when you just take your chance to hit him, and then he'll spin out in the old, shoot out his reactor in the meantime, which is very, very stupid. And not last, but second to last, and to me, one of my more favorite bosses from this game is the Nitrous Brio boss fight. Is also one of my favorites. He has these green blobs that he throws at you, and you just jump on top of them. Pretty simple, and then take away his health. Once it gets low enough, he hulks out for some reason and causes these rocks to come down to just jump on top, and then when he gets close enough, jump on top of him, and boom. Keep doing that until he knocks out. Or in the remastered version, he actually goes out of a window, which is actually pretty interesting because we never really find out what happens to Nitrous Brio, and at least, where the hell does he go? Like, does he go all the way to the bottom of the island or what? And anyway, that's the last big boss fight before we fight the big man himself. And Crash, for some reason, also always follows this formula. You always fight the lackey of Cortex before you actually fight Cortex. Like, he's the second to last boss always. But that's right, ladies and gentlemen. We fight Cortex as the last boss. He caused all this shit, mutated all these animals, and he goes down in 4 hits.
Wait, is that it? Shitty ass boss going out in 4 hits.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. He goes down in 4 hits. He shoots. I don't know what's up with Crash Bandicoot's game obsession with green, especially for the first one. But for some reason, green is the enemy of the bosses. He shoots these green bolts at him, spin back at him, and boom, it takes him out. Now, it does take a little bit longer in later parts of the boss fight to actually hit him with the green bolts because they stack up in midair for some reason. Then it hits him. But yeah, he only has 4 points within his life bar. So that's Crash. Once you beat him, then you save Tana, and then you save the Wumpa Islands, even though Cortex's entire island's on fire. I kind of wish that was actually like a progression, like each level's like destroyed, because you actually are kind of destroying like his entire empire that he built, and you don't really see it until the last boss fight. Like, the entire island's on fire, and leading up to that point, it doesn't really lead you otherwise that it would be on fire. But there's also another part I want to mention, is that you can actually skip the entire boss fight if you collect all the gems. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. If you collect all the gems in this game, all the clear gems and the color gems, then you actually can skip the boss fight and go straight to Tana. And to me, even though you do that, it's not the true ending of the game, as Crash Bandicoot 2, the opening of that scene really shows us that when you beat Cortex, that is actually the true ending. But just a little fun fact that the voice actor also changes from the original to the second one. Now, this won't happen with the remaster because they did all new voice actors and stuff, but in the original, they actually change from one voice actor to another. But that's Crash Bandicoot 1, ladies and gentlemen. The last part I want to talk about is the music. Now, just like the original, the remaster version is definitely no joke when it comes to the music, ladies and gentlemen. The music is phenomenal. In fact, the music, you can listen to it while you're, reading a book or something. It's quite relaxing. It's quite cool, reading just a book, Also, if you're having a little party, it has a lot of upbeat drums and a lot of great compositions into it. I love listening to it during a good workout session or not, but definitely something worth picking up. So, Ladies and gentlemen, the question is, if you haven't picked up this game, the first impression, we still got 2 more games to cover, but if you would want to go back to the original, which do you prefer? Do you prefer the original or do you prefer the remastered version? Because not all remasters are great. Some actually tend to flop, but that's the question I'm going to leave open-ended for you guys. Which one is better? The old version or the remastered version? My opinion, obviously the remastered version, because they've done this one so well. But some of you might like the classic, they might like the original. So leave a comment down below if you prefer the original or do you prefer the remaster. Also, don't forget that like button because that helps me out a lot. And also don't forget the subscribe button to get notified when I upload more content. So thank you guys for watching. I was King Shaka and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.